What is going on, everybody? Welcome to this breaking news broadcast from those of us here at the Simply Reliable Studios. It is I, the Renegade of Wrestling, J.J. Williams, being joined by my longtime partner in crime, Jeff MRF and Meacham.
Yeah, it's not quite
We're
5
not
minutes.
5 minutes in yet,
Yeah. It's been a news kind of week, and I'm low key hesitant to even be on camera with all this shit going on in the world. Like good lordy.
Going on in the world is the appropriate
Yes.
reference for today because
Yes.
breaking news. I don't even know how breaking it is because everybody was talking about it the last couple of days, but
Yes.
it was officially announced less than an hour ago
Yeah.
by Paul Triple H Levesque
Yes.
that WWE WrestleMania 43, for the first time ever, is leaving North America and it is heading to Riyadh season, Saudi Arabia. And we are here to discuss it. We have sent the link out to some of the other people in the Simply Reliable Studios. All are welcome to join.
Absolutely.
As somebody who has been doing this way longer than me, granted, I'm older, but not to make you feel old, but way longer than me.
Oh no,
The first two questions are: did you ever think you would see the day when WrestleMania would finally go outside of North America and be a true global phenomenon? And what are your thoughts on Saudi Arabia being the first to home WrestleMania outside of the US and Canada?
So when I hear that question, I think back to Sergeant Slaughter's 2004 Hall of Fame induction when he said, looking forward to WrestleMania 30 when it's going to be on Mars or someplace. Like,
Not that far off there, Sarge.
Right. Yeah. It is literally a whole other world over there. And I was talking yesterday as I was meeting up with an old friend who I say old, knowing she's going to smack me for saying old on the air. But just talking about, when you go to Disneyland and you go into Galaxy's Edge and you go into the Outpost, it really feels like you've left Disneyland. You're in a whole other world back there. And that's what this feels like. I knew WrestleMania would eventually leave and be, held outside of North America. You can't be a global product without taking place in different parts of the world. AEW has ran their big show of the year in Europe. And, our buddy John Cena pushed heavily when he appeared in London about WrestleMania coming to the United Kingdom. And I was like, yeah, absolutely, man. Let's do it. Shit, I'll save the money. I'll go over there. I'll hop the pond and we'll do the thing. But we all know that Saudi's a different animal. We all know that it's a whole other tone of conversation. Even in our group chat, I got the side eye for making the graphics for the watch along this far in advance. And not for the reason that I did it in advance, obviously. It's going to be.
You only get the side eye from me about that because I literally had just finished making it myself. And then here's like 5 different options from Jeff Meacham. And it's just like, well, shit.
Well, okay. So Aaron, I'm going to throw Aaron right under that bus because I can, because it's Aaron. Kind of took the graphic they had at the press conference and just kind of cropped it. I'm like, well, that looks low resolution like shit because it's what it is. They hadn't actually posted the logo yet. So I went in there and cleaned it up and put it on a different background. That was like, okay, that way we can have some. And then they put that little thing at the end of the press conference, which we kind of used for the opening graphic today. And okay, I can mess with that. And then they put the big poster thing on WWE Social, which is what I cropped and had the final product be. It's a nice looking logo. I will say that. WrestleMania.
Of Aaron, I did send him the link as well, but apparently he's finishing up posts and then heading to dinner. Old man Rift has to go to dinner at 4:00 in the afternoon. But
I meant to throw it in the chat that I did ask him if he was going live after this, and he he knew what it was going to be too. So he was like, I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to do my SmackDown recap. Okay. It's kind of like doing the predictions for All Out or just, doing it after Dynamite. Like, he hasn't decided yet because the interest is what it is in AEW. Sorry. For the AEW people, I'm sorry. It is what it is. Anyway, WrestleMania. I am not surprised it's being held outside of North America. And at this point in the relationship with Riyadh season, I'm not surprised it's going to Saudi. I'm really not. I agree with that. I know some folks don't.
Look. Okay. Personal feelings towards Liv aside.
Yes.
Anytime someone is out with an injury and can make an appearance still,
Yes.
it's a good day. I popped a little bit when I saw Liv. Hell, I sleep with Liv every night, okay?
That's fair.
I've got a blanket with her and the women's title on it that I got off of Temu because it was the only one that fit with me, So I sleep with Liv every night. Damn it. I'm not going to hate on her. I'm not kicking her out of bed.
Well, no, that's
because I don't like her character and her gimmick doesn't mean she's horrible looking.
Yeah. I love the fact that it was just like in the news this morning that she had returned to the PC for training, and just kidding, she's in Vegas. Like, just they rolled her right out of that training facility. It's like, all right, here she is. Faces, ooh, look, ooh, pretty. So I will say this. I liked the mix of people that they had on stage, right? Appealing to the nostalgia, having Hunter, of course, be the face of the company like he's been now, having Shawn up there, having Undertaker up there, even with that evergreen, goatee of his and just looking more like Mark Calloway than he ever did. But then having Bianca and having Liv and having the world heavyweight champion, Seth Rollins, up there. Nice touch. And having Joe Tessitore, the sports guy, the ESPN guy, not Michael Cole, not, Corey Graves, but the guy that relates back to sports, to ESPN, to that new deal. It's WWE can be accused of many things, but poor marketing will never be one of them other than the Great Balls of Fire pay-per-view. That one was what it was. But
and that was during my hiatus. They didn't have the Jerry Lee Lewis song as the theme song for that show. It was already a fail.
Valid. And then the logo just like Jerry Lee was like, yeah, I don't want to be part of it. Thanks. I'm good. So yeah, I'm, as ever with stuff like this, I'm cautiously optimistic of how everything's going to, we've got 2 years almost to see how this all plays out. Right.
Yeah.
So it's, I'm still, making my plans for Survivor Series in 2 months, let alone, WrestleMania in 2 years. But it'll be, I'm not going to go. That's damn sure. Just the cost to get there alone would be chaotic. And that's a question I want to bring up to you since it kind of came around. We know these WWE events have been what they call spot shows. They're already paid for. The audience is there. They're going to be there. They're going to be supplied by the government. At least they have been. Does WrestleMania become the same thing now, being in Saudi Arabia? Or do we get a destination week like we've had the last, decade or so? Interesting dynamic now.
Yeah. I really don't know. Will this, it's been heavily rumored that the Saudi government, the prince there, and I'm only not saying his name because I don't want to butcher it, so forgive me.
Yes.
His
Excellency.
But it's been heavily rumored for a long time that they have heavy influence in the matches that appear on their shows, or at least some of the talent. So John Cena is having his retirement tour. Do they pony up the cash for John Cena to come out of retirement for that WrestleMania? Yeah. Do we finally get The Rock and Roman there?
Yeah.
Because, they can pony up the cash for Dwayne.
Yeah.
Does Shawn Michaels have to come out of retirement? Do we get one more Undertaker match?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the thing that really has got my brain going.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, what about the current crop of talent?
Exactly. Exactly.
Like, I could understand and maybe see Triple H allowing one night to be Nostalgia Mania for the
Agreed.
Saudi government.
Yep.
But night two's got to be current storylines, current stars, championships,
Yeah. I mean, they build the entire WWE year around people getting their WrestleMania moment.
Mhm.
And, if they book the shows like they've been booking them in Saudi, at least up until recently, because the last couple Saudi shows, they've been, actually keeping in storyline with current WWE television here in North America and, the other parts of the world. But I do like the thought of, okay, if we do Nostalgia Mania night 1 and then have WrestleMania proper night 2, do we have the same amount of matches, or do they just throw everything at that wall and make sure it's got glue on it so everything does stick?
Well, I
Because
mean, the plus side about Saudi Mania is it'll be early as hell in the day.
oh no, I know.
So if they want to run an 8-hour WrestleMania 35 PLE, it's still over at like 6 in the afternoon for us. You know
No,
what I
for
mean?
real.
Like,
No, for all the political, and after this week, I had to wear this shirt. I didn't know I was going to be on the air today, but after this week, I'm definitely wearing this shit. Shout out to Greg Cherry. Even with all the gaga, I know Aaron's going, oh, I get to recap Mania before dinner. Holy shit. he's
right?
loving life on that front. So, as are we. We get to do shenanigans on time for WrestleMania, which is unheard of. There's so much discussion that's going to be generated over the next few days on all the podcast platforms. Everybody and their mother's going to be touching it, which is probably why it's better we went live now.
That's the whole reason I wanted to get a jump on it, because I know the upper echelon, if you will, of podcasters, for whatever people think of them, you're just Alex's, your JD's from NY, your Denise Salcedo's, your Sean Ross Sapps, your Vince Russo's, your Eric Bischoff's, and Conrad Thompson's.
Yes.
Within the next hour and a half to 2 hours, they're going to have content up about this.
Or at least planning of it, because, they've all got their weekly shows that they're going to, I'm sure everything along ad-free shows is going to have some sort of Saudi Mania talk, especially Bradshaw, especially Jarrett. I know Jeff Jarrett's going to want to talk business into business, as will Bischoff. So yeah, I'm happy we're doing this, even if it is just you and I, like the old days. Like, screw it, whatever. It's something that is important enough. Yes, it's literally an hour and a half old, not even that yet, and
yeah,
we're kind of, it's still very speculative about what's going to happen. We don't even have the booking full up for WrestlePalooza next weekend, let alone WrestleMania in 2027. But
right, we don't have the booking for No Mercy in 2 weeks.
Yes, but I'm looking forward to that show. I'll tell you what. After Tuesday night, I'm looking forward to No Mercy. That's for damn sure.
I'm looking forward to Homecoming and seeing if anything from Homecoming transforms into No Mercy, but that's a whole other angle.
Yeah, that's a whole.
Let me ask you this, because we got the announcement, I think it was last year, that Saudi was going to get the Rumble next year.
Right.
And I think everybody at that point started speculating, oh, Sami Zayn's got to win the Rumble. Sami Zayn's got to win the Rumble. He's so big in Saudi. But now that he's U.S. champion, it kind of feels like they've pushed back and taken a step back a little bit.
Maybe.
Do you think that maybe that was done because they knew that Mania is going to be in Saudi, and rather have him win the Rumble elsewhere and get crowned in Saudi, as opposed to win the Rumble in Saudi and get crowned in Vegas?
I think that's a very distinct possibility. We've all known for years that the old man would target his end game for Mania and write backwards. I can't envision the son-in-law being all that much different, having learned under that particular tree. You know, for a long time, Sammy couldn't reconcile even working over there, and now, God, he gets the Road Warrior pop when he goes to Saudi now.
Yeah.
If you don't understand that reference, ask your parents, kids.
Or your grandparents, depending on how old your parents are.
That's valid too. God bless Hawk and Animal. Anyway, God, that was 40 years ago. Shit. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm old. Yeah, I love that. And I love that. Again, think what you want to think about the political culture or whatever. I love that for our friend Sami Zayn. That the possibility that he could be finally a WWE World Champion at WrestleMania, no less. You and I both in our respective locations, me up in the cheap seats, you at home making the call, boo-hooing with joy at him and Kevin winning the tag titles in the main event of WrestleMania. My God.
In LA with the PWG logo on their trunks.
Right. And people around me not understanding the level of sobs I was devolving into. Like, they didn't understand it. Like, this would be on that level because of the significance of Saudi to Sammy. That would be a great little nugget. It would be wonderful. I have a question for the chat because I didn't see this or hear this in the announcement. It was said that they gave the actual date for the Rumble. That would be wonderful. Speaking of our graphic.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet, and I believe that was from Safet. I love Safet, but Safet sometimes jumps the gun on things. But
he does.
If Safet, if you can post the date in the chat, then I will believe you, and we will look for the graphic afterwards. Yeah. Of course, WWE has to do this today when I've already gone and made watch-along trailers for GCW tonight, Worlds Collide tonight, GCW tomorrow night, and the boxing fight we're doing tomorrow night. So I'm not going to go back and re-edit it.
Right. Yeah.
Because that's too much work.
Yeah.
But this will be in the trailer that'll come for Sunday as James and his friend, I believe his name is Martin, are going to be doing Deadlock Pro for us.
Oh, okay.
And Charles Schultz, the creator of the Peanuts game, says it's January 31st. Thank you for that, Charles.
Oh yeah, it's already on the wiki, so it must be true. There you go. Okay, so there you go. So yeah, because I created that graphic that's been in the watch along trailers when they announced the Rumble and just said January. It's like, well, fuck, if you're not going to give me anything else to work with, we'll just go with it. So, yeah. Same thing we're doing Mania. That's why the graphics look like they look, because no dates.
I literally just screenshotted that graphic at the very end of the thing and was like, okay, plus our WWE logo on it, use it.
Yeah.
Keep it simple.
Yeah.
Keep it simple because it says WrestleMania coming to Saudi 2027.
Yep.
So you've got the event, the location, and the year all on it already. Bloop, put our graphic in the corner, call it a day.
No. If you get
Jeff has to be tech savvy. He's got to go extract things and make the pretty backgrounds and then put the things that he extracted on it and then throw our logo in the corner and the Riyadh season in the other corner.
You know what? There's a difference. And the difference is I knew what the announcement was going to be. Do I really
we all did.
Tori ask Undertaker the questions or Bianca? No, I don't. I can watch that shit later.
We all knew what it was going to. Well,
right.
Okay.
Exactly.
We didn't all know. Well, we all had a very good idea.
Yes.
I don't want to make it sound like we're freaking Nostradamus here and we know everything. We have insider information because we don't. It's very much the same thing with the AJ return.
Yes.
We all pretty much knew what was about to happen. We were just waiting for it to happen.
Yep.
We all pretty much knew this announcement was for WrestleMania.
100%.
We were just waiting for the formalities.
Yeah.
This is what the Dads on Wrestling used to be, Charles. You know, the only reason the Dads isn't a thing anymore was because he got swamped with work. I got swamped with real life stuff.
Yes.
You know, hopefully at some point down the road, the Dads can come back together and do shit. And we have kind of ran the gamut of topics to discuss.
Without
getting into the newsworthy shit that was saved for shenanigans.
Yeah.
Because then we're discussing it on Dads. We're discussing it on Shenanigans. One of us is probably on the No DQ review discussing it.
Yeah.
Jeff is on the Greg Cherry show discussing it.
Yeah.
I'm in the spaces on X discussing it.
Yeah.
We don't need to discuss it that much.
And there's only so many top tens we can do. That's why Letterman retired, folks. Just saying. So yeah, and I'm of the opinion that, if you don't evolve, then you're dying. So
Yeah.
it's if you're not learning and continue to, who the hell's texting me? Are you fucking right now? I'm on the air here. Okay, well you're allowed because it's mom. Okay. That's the cue. Time to go. Probably think I'm sleeping. I'm supposed to be cleaning this house because we finally sold the place. So, at least that's something. Oh wait, where's James? Stop, Bane. Anyway,
I wasn't gonna do it because that's a Noah gimmick when James is around. I was just gonna leave it be.
I know that's okay. But yeah, it's one of those things that yes, it was all but already formalized. And when Triple H goes on there and goes, we have a big announcement, and it's gonna be like, okay, so you're gonna gather a bunch of people that we're not gonna worry about having to boo. No media, which has been a WWE policy now for a few months. And, well, why do they do that? What are they afraid of? It's like, can you imagine this week, especially the political backlash if they announce that they're going to have the biggest show in the company over there? Like, no way they don't get raked over the coals by the hard one side, right? It's just bad. It's bad. It's a bad look. It's bad press. So I'm going to give me some hate tweets, but fuck it. I commend the process behind it. Whether you agree with the destination or not, the way they went about announcing it, the way they went about booking it was the best they could have done with the situation they are presenting. Mm-hmm. And, that's very much that corporate mouse ear part of me coming out, but it is what it is.
To that, Charles actually had an interesting point. I'm curious about the various independent shows during Mania week. Yeah, as they tend to run the indies wherever WrestleMania is, because you've got that tourist destination vibe. Oh, well, while you're here, come see this, and this.
Yep. Aaron brought up a very funny, like, it would be funny if AEW ran a bunch of free stuff that week or on the days of Mania. AEW could have a very unique opportunity to book a venue that they can fill up. They'll be booking, 100,000 seat stadiums, Tony. Let's not go ape shit here. And then let them be the indie vortex for that week.
Why not just use Daly's place?
Valid.
Have Daly's place be the setting for the indie shows and have AEW do a massive show at Jaguar Stadium, because we all know they're not going to go to the Super Bowl.
Well, no.
And even if they do, it's probably not going to be played at their stadium.
No.
So there you go.
Yeah. This announcement today has...
And that's pretty much all free for Tony.
No, absolutely.
So you don't have to pay for the venue.
Nope. And if they rent Daly's
the talent,
and if they rent Daly's place out to the GCWs, the House of Glories, the all the other stuff, that's just cash money to the cons. Again, this is why every time I get down the rabbit hole with a hardcore AEW diehard WWE hater, it's like, you know what? Yeah, they're running in a horrible place with people in it, but you know what? It benefits the entire business, doesn't it? If you really think about it, it can. WWE's announcement now has repercussions for the entire industry in 2027, that week. And hell, if they run Florida, the spring break crowd overlap, Jesus Christ. That shit writes itself. Shit, I'm going to call my friends Disney World. Oh my God, get ready.
Dude, Collision, Bash at the Beach.
Yep.
Do a live episode of Collision right there on like Daytona Beach or something.
Exactly. Hell, run it at the whatever the hell the arena is called, where the NWO happened. I forget what the actual name of I'm sorry, I forget what it's called in Daytona, but that's what I'm talking about.
Well, but I think the free aspect helps because you bring new eyes
Yeah.
to the product. Like you just said, there's already going to be buku people at spring break.
Yep.
Daytona is one of those spring break destinations.
Valid.
Drop the ring right there in the middle of the beach.
Yep.
Go through whatever you got to go through for permits and whatnot. 2-hour live collision right there on Daytona Beach.
Hell, talk to the different non-Disney or Universal destinations, because we all know not going to run Disney because they're way too far in bed with WWE's partners at this point. ESPN, hello.
Right.
Same with Universal with NBC. So,
but
yeah,
talent can be at the city walks, the downtown Disneys, flyering, passing out free tickets. Hey, we've got a show on the beach for free.
Yep. Yeah, for all those people that have been put off by the I'm having to pay $30 extra a month for ESPN and I'm not going to support WWE. Now you don't have to. You go see a free show on the beach with people you've seen on television every week.
And if you're just a casual fan getting back into it, names you recognize from the past. Edge, Christian. I'm sure they'd have Brian there just for a pop.
Jericho, if he actually comes
Jericho.
back. Yeah.
Jarrett.
Yep. Jarrett
there's enough names there.
Event just screams marketing.
Defend the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Championship that hasn't been seen since he won it.
That's tremendous. I love that shit. And yes, Conrad and Tony, checks can be made out too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we know you both got the money, damn it. I don't care how much you renovate your house, Conrad. You got the money, damn it. Anyway.
But this is huge.
It is. It's big.
And there's like we've already kind of touched on, there are positives and there are negatives.
Sure.
At the end of the day, I think we kind of touched on it a little bit in the beginning, but we all kind of knew Saudi was going to get there eventually.
Yes.
I think the $1 billion question was, who was going to get it first? Wembley or Saudi? I think those were the two big markets, destinations, and because of this long-term partnership, Saudi was the easy way to go.
Yep.
If Saudi proves to be fruitful in 2027, who's to say that by 2030 we're not at Wembley Stadium?
Yeah.
I don't think they do it internationally every year.
No.
Because let's be real, their bread is buttered here in the States.
Yeah, absolutely.
But those milestone manias, we're coming, this will be 43, so 45, 50, 55, 60, etc. I could see those being international. And then 46, 47, 48, 49 being stateside. And then you go international for the big one.
Yeah, it's like you said, there are tons of points to consider, and they're not all good, like you said. But I think an announcement like this, the fact that AJ Lee returned and ticket sales in Chicago went up on a buzz, the fact that Rampage sold out and drew the number it did on a buzz, on a rumor.
I was going to say, just like the first Dance Rampage did for Punk.
Yeah. It just shows that for all of the negative that wrestling still gets, and a lot of it deserves, it brings it on itself. I'm not going to sugarcoat that shit. It's still hotter than it's ever been. And there's that that statement that TKO put out about Vince was, pricing more for families. It's like, well, yeah, okay. But my whole thing is, I, as a fan, have got to do everything I really ever saw myself doing, except attending a Royal Rumble. And that may still come depending on how close they get after Saudi.
Yeah, I've still never seen a Rumble or a Survivor Series.
Yeah.
The opportunity is there for Survivor Series, but I don't know if I want to go down to San Diego. WrestleMania I saw in LA.
Yep.
SummerSlam I saw in the same building I saw WrestleMania in.
LA, yeah. Yep.
So clearly they're not going to be at the OG Staples Center anymore.
No.
But if I can see them in and around LA, figure out a way.
Yeah. And where I was going with that was I'm not one of those fans that is going to hop online and bitch about the ticket prices because number one, I'm not put off on not going. I wasn't planning on going anyway, if I'm being real. I'd like to go to Vegas for Mania just because it's there, it's close. But my whole point last year and going into this coming years was I want to be there for the week, for the experience, for all the other ancillary shit.
See, and that's more of why I want to go.
Yeah, I don't have to be inside Allegiant Stadium. I saw a tremendous SummerSlam at Allegiant Stadium. That the Raiders have a beautiful home. Our buddy Alexis is a tour guide there. If I ever get an opportunity to go up there just for her to take me on a tour, I won't say no. But paying that amount of money for anything is, and this comes from a Disneyland cast member, so take it for what it's worth. But, paying that amount of money to sit where I would be sitting is not computable in my brain. No. When I can turn on the TV over here, have a better view than I would ever have, or pay what I'd pay normally for a ringside seat at any other show and go down to Cosm in LA.
Yeah.
Have that experience, which the Kings did that. Holy shit, was that cool to watch, by the way. Just for the record.
Yeah. I am still heavily contemplating going, but I'm not going to go to Mania. I am going to go to the extracurricular shit.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to go for the week. I'm going to go to the Access, the Fanatics Expo. I'm going to go to the GCW Collective and see all the shows that they run, the Clusterfuck Battle Royal and Joey Janela's Spring Break, which is what put me on to them this year.
Yep.
Go see Potter Mania that our friend Heather Lynn does the ring announcing for.
Yes.
Go see the Future Stars of Wrestling, which Chris Bay came out of, Killer Cross came out of.
Yep.
The only WWE ID person, Ice Williams, who I think got released from his contract as an ID member, but he came from there as well. So, Layla Gray's been working there a lot lately. I'd love to see some Layla Gray.
Yeah,
right. I'm just saying.
No, yeah, I hear that. The only WWE thing I would absolutely go out of my way to see is the Hall of Fame, and that's only if they finally put Cyndi Lauper in. She's done touring. There's no reason not to, folks. Hunter, Nick Khan. We know you still watch, so don't bullshit me.
Don't bullshit a bullshitter.
Don't bullshit a bullshitter. Exactly. And I would go because now I've had the opportunity to interact with Cyndi and her band, and it was such a cool experience. So I would go if they put her in the Hall of Fame, like they should have done in 2005. Personally, no celebrity induction that year. So.
Yep.
But yeah, the out of the stadium, but not out of the WWE bubble stuff. That's what I would go to. And that's why I'm not overly bothered by the geography of today's announcement. Doesn't bother me.
Yeah. And again, we can still get that opportunity if Rage of Wrestling's YouTube gets to 200 subscribers. They are only 18 away. There are 17 of you currently watching on Walter's X account. If those of you watching on Walter's X account have not subscribed to his YouTube, go to Rage of Wrestling, subscribe. That'll boost that up. He gets to 200, he goes to Vegas for Mania.
Yes.
It sounds like a very small goal at the end of the day. Why would his wife send him to Vegas for only 200, 500, 1,000? Like, these are monumental milestones. He is a small-time account who's still struggling to grow.
Yep.
That's why 200 is the goal. and he's 18 away. And if we get there, I've already been pitching to Walter, get an Airbnb instead of a hotel room.
Agreed.
Because that can put all of us in it with the amount of rooms. Then you have the opportunity and the option to go up there if you choose.
Yep.
I have the option and the opportunity to go up there if I choose, because Noah and James are tentatively going to be his +2.
Yeah. The plan for 39 was to do that, do an Airbnb near SoFi, and then they announced WrestleMania in Philly and fucked up my juju. So nobody came out here for that one, but that was going to be the plan. Everybody was going to be at an Airbnb close by, that way we could run the entire gamut of podcasts from one spot.
Yeah. That's the thought process here. I mean, do shenanigans, do predictions, do watch alongs still, because there's only going to be 2 tickets to Mania.
Right.
So the rest of us can be at the house doing the watch alongs. And speaking of the reliable one, speaking of the one that we just shilled for,
say his name.
And he appears. Walter Cruz is in the house. What is up, Walter?
Hey, how are you guys?
We're doing good, man. We've been going for almost 45 minutes here talking about the Saudi Mania. We literally were just plugging your channel because Jeff was talking about if he went to Vegas next year for Mania, he wouldn't be going for Mania. He'd be going to do all the extracurricular shit. And I was like, that's the reason I want to go, is the extracurricular shit. And it's like, and we can make all that happen if we can get Walter to 200 subs.
Yeah, and
I pointed out the number that are watching on your X. It's like, if y'all haven't subscribed yet, go subscribe now. Let's get him there.
We got the rabbit hole.
Welcome to the stream, Walter. What are your thoughts on this big breaking news announcement? First time in WrestleMania history. It's going to be outside of North America.
I think for the first time in history. What's fun about WrestleMania, I know I've only been to one, is the diversity of people you get. People travel from all over the place and come here. I feel like for the first time ever, you're not going to get that variety. Who the hell's going to fly halfway across the world like that? Like, it's going to be all people from Saudi locally. And maybe some celebrities. I don't think your average Joe, especially with the prices nowadays that WrestleMania charges, WWE charges. Now you're going over there. You're going to charge whatever it is over there, plus the flight, plus the hotels, like, plus let's not mention the political views of how people feel with that country. So
yeah, let's try to keep the politics out of it, the political stuff out of it.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be difficult. Like, yeah, they'll sell out for them, but it's basically that fun, the diversity of all the wrestling fans. I doubt that it's going to be there. I mean, I could be wrong. I could get surprised, but I highly doubt that everybody's going to buy tickets and rush and fly halfway across the world. Like, literally, that's the other side of the world. So it's good for them as a business. I'm not going to lie. At the end of the day, it's called the wrestling business. Make the most money you can. This is going to bring a bucket load of money. So if you work for WWE, TKO, any of those kind of productions, you're flying head over heels right now. But for the average Joe wrestling fans, it's gonna hurt, and you might lose viewers behind certain reasons that like you just said we can't get into. But people might you're risking boycotts. You know what I mean? So we'll see.
Well, Jeff and I were discussing a little bit ago, and a lot of people peg us as kind of being more anti-AEW than pro-AEW.
Yeah.
But Jeff and I were pointing out earlier, this is a huge opportunity for AEW. Because traditionally, WrestleMania is run around the time of spring break. So Tony Khan, AEW have been getting counter-programmed left and right by WWE. This is Tony's time to plant his feet in the ground, let his balls drop, and counter-program back.
Oh, yeah.
Daly's Place. Tony Khan and his father owned that, I believe. Open that up for all the independent wrestling that's not going to be able to go in Saudi Arabia. Because all the indies count on WrestleMania for their income and eyes on the product. I'd say a good 99% of the independents are not going to Saudi for that shit. So open Daly's Place for the independents. Do a major event on Sunday in the Jaguar Stadium. And do a live collision on Saturday night on Daytona Beach, Bash at the Beach style. Just drop a ring in the middle of the beach there. Free for people to come and see. Don't ticket it. Now you're bringing new eyes to your company by putting on a free live event on the beach. Because Daytona, Florida is a tourist destination. You have talent go down to the City Walk there at the Universal Orlando, to the downtown Disney at Disney World, Florida, and you flyer, you pass out stuff to promote the events. And you have an opportunity there for AEW to make some serious bank from a business standpoint, because Tony Khan doesn't have to pay to rent the Jaguar Stadium. If we're being honest, the Jaguars aren't going to be playing in the Super Bowl. If they are playing in the Super Bowl, they're probably not going to be playing in their own stadium, because it usually rotates stadiums. And I believe Tony Khan or his dad owns Daly's Place.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no rent for a venue.
That's all profit.
Exactly. And if you rent Daly's Place out to the independents, that's profit coming in. GCW's collective at Daly's Place.
Try to let Josh Burnett do his blood sport that weekend.
I'll take. How can we print money for 200, Alex?
Right. It's all on the up and up. I
Sorry,
definitely would do that for Tony. On top of that, by the time WrestleMania, we're going to be deep in that ESPN run, and who knows how many people would have switched to subscribe. They might still can't afford it. So Tony Khan could just sneak in and whoop, like that's your way to do it, man.
That's what I was saying.
And the plus side. Go ahead, Jeff. Sorry.
All people that were bitching about, having to pay 30 extra for ESPN or whatever to carry the pay-per-views, they can go watch a free show if AEW runs the beach like JJ was talking about, or they can, pay significantly less for more shows. Again, it's not. I'm sorry, Jay. It's not hard to get around what you perceive as WWE being too much. If you've got a legitimate bitch about it, do something about it. Go to AEW shows. Go to the GCWs and the independents. Hell, even though they're in bed with them, go to the goddamn TNA shows when you can. Make your statement with your wallet, not your big-ass internet mouth.
And the real beauty of it all is the fact that since it would be in Saudi, it's an earlier start time. So Mania is going to be starting at like 1 Eastern, 10 Pacific, or noon Eastern, 9 Pacific.
Yep.
5 or 6 hour WrestleMania. It's going off the air at, 3 Pacific, 5 Eastern, worst case scenario.
Yep.
Collision starts at 5 o'clock, 8 Eastern. So it's not really counter programming. People have the opportunity to watch both, but they can actually attend the one here in the States.
Yeah, they can watch Mania, and 90% of them can hop in the car and have Mania on their mobile devices or driving to the arena for Collision.
Or whatever indie show.
Right.
Or whatever show, that Tony does at the Jaguar Stadium. Isn't Revolution traditionally in April? Or is it Dynasty?
Revolution's in March, generally speaking. But that is their spring era pay-per-view.
There is an April show that they've started, though.
Might be Dynasty then, yeah. I went to Rebellion in April. I know that much. that was TNA. So
that that might be Tony's opportunity to create a new pay-per-view and just like a one-time special. Like you don't have to add it to your rotation, but there you go.
Yeah. And you know, the other thing that's being brought up in the chat room right now is it was not stated if it's still going to be a two-nighter. You and I talked about it before Walter came in, Jay, about having Nostalgia Mania night 1, WrestleMania night 2, but we don't know it's going to be a two-nighter yet. Officially.
Yeah. We can speculate and assume that it's going to be tonight because it's been tonight every year since the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't really know until they make the announcement. I saw your hand, Walter. What's up?
Think about this. How many of us have said Forbidden Door doesn't feel so forbidden like it because they're still in the roster? There's your chance to make a real Forbidden Door. You take that WrestleMania weekend while they're in Saudi and you bring all the companies and you book them within AEW and you make an actual Forbidden Door. You don't have to call it that, but that would be a real Forbidden Door.
Yeah. The only, and again, you know, playing devil's advocate or negative Nanny here, is that the hardcore fans will appreciate that as a Forbidden Door because you have people from every company. But realistically, there won't be any TNA people on that show. There won't be any AAA people. They'll have CMLL people. But it'll be the true AEW haters, the WWE ride or dies will be like, oh, well, you know, they don't have the really big stars because they're all in Saudi or they're all, you know, and they wouldn't be wrong, but it would just cause more of that type of discussion. So I love that because that kind of show gives the opportunity to talent that would probably never get that opportunity. The people that work the opening, you know, matches like the lower cards of the GCWs and all the other independent shows, a more global awareness being part of that big a weekend. That's the upside.
Yeah, it would be more of a Forbidden Door than there's ever been without it being a true Forbidden Door.
Yep.
Because right now, the Forbidden Door shows traditionally are AEW, New Japan, CMLL, and Stardom.
Yep.
But if you bring all these indies to run a dailies place, you've got access to, like we were saying, the GCWs, the House of Glories, the FSWs, Future Stars of Wrestling. You've got Joey Janela was on AEW back in the day, so you bring him back for Forbidden Door. There's your GCW. You bring somebody like a Matt Fremont to take on John Moxley.
Right.
You know, House of Glory, their champion Charles Mason. Granted, I doubt he'd be their champion in 2027, but, you know, you've got your Charles Mason that can take on somebody like a Claudio Castagnoli.
Yep. Walter.
And this is assuming that, like, the Death Riders is still going in 2 years, you know?
Yeah, God.
You've got the Koger brothers, Vandal 48, and Christian Napier, and throw them in there with freaking, like, I don't know.
I think the Death Riders thing is going to be one of those, which is going to end first, that or release a GTA 6. Like, I'm wondering at this point because, golly, Walter, you mentioned Bloodsport being part of the
collective
thing. The only thing I have maybe probably not is because they've been so tight with WWE now. They've had Natty run there. They've had TNA people go in there. I don't know if Josh would want to jeopardize that by getting, you know, any sort of relations with Tony. I'm not saying he shouldn't, but from a business standpoint, you go, ooh, maybe not, because then you lose the potential of having not Natalia but Natty at these Bloodsport shows and Masha Slamovich and, you know, and Charlie Dempsey and all the other people we've had come in. I'd love to see it because I love this few people I like to see on these Bloodsport shows, but, you know, business is business.
I mean, if WWE is smart and they know that that's happened, and let them borrow the people you know you didn't fly to Saudi. That way, they're still, your company still is the one shining.
That's a valid counter, right? That's true.
But if in this hypothetical, if they're running at Daly's place, that means that they're running on Tony Khan property, and that's where I think the issue lies.
Yeah. Oh, but that can't be because Hunter's not as petty as the old man. They would never do anything like that. I don't claim to know for sure, but
But you know what? You know, we're talking about what ifs and speculation. You don't think Billy Gunn could maybe bring that olive branch?
Valid.
When you consider the fact that DX is running fucking WWE right now?
Right. No shit, right?
COO Paul Triple H Levesque, head booker, writer for NXT Shawn Michaels,
Road Dogg.
co-lead writer of SmackDown Road Dogg, head of WWE ID training X-Pac.
Is he really doing that? Is that his role?
Yes.
No
That's his role.
shit. God damn, I gotta call Sean Waltman. I know nothing.
And then you've got Billy Gunn over in AEW.
No longer scissoring with the dipshits. You know.
So that's why I'm saying it's like, dude, if there was ever an opportunity for an olive branch, Billy Gunn to Triple H on behalf of TK, I mean, weirder things have happened.
No, that's
every single one of us sat here on various podcasts and said Vince McMahon would leave WWE in a casket. Didn't happen.
nope.
So weirder things have happened.
And hell, we sat there when he came back, like, see, still did, and then he left again, and now it looks rather permanent. But again, never say never. Brock Lesnar's back on TV, and he's still technically up in the shit. So, you know.
A professional wrestler became a mayor, a governor, I meant. So, hey.
And a mayor. No.
Oh, yeah, mayor.
And mayor too, because Kane.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Jesse was mayor before he was governor. But yeah, Glenn Jacobs, yeah.
Sitting mayor.
Yeah. The world is definitely spinning weirder and weirder with every day, especially this week. But we know WrestleMania will always be a thing, no matter who's in charge of the company or where they run the show. So, and that's why we get to sit here and do what we do every week, because WWE, no matter how hard some of us want to try, will never go away.
I'll tell you one thing, with this news, the price to fly to the Middle East just tripled.
Oh, for real. That is a thing I don't think anybody's really talking about. You know, people are so open arms about the way the Saudis conduct themselves. And, you know, again, it's a work, folks. It's all big work. I swear to God. This can't actually be real, what's happening in this world. It has to be a work. But, you know, if you believe the hype and the gaga or whatever, they're trying to make themselves more appealing to a broader audience of the world. Bring WrestleMania in the middle of that country, man. People are going to come from all over. You know,
possibly. That was the point Walter made when you had stepped off camera, is that with the political environment in Saudi Arabia, how many people are really going to want to make the journey there because of their political beliefs?
Yeah.
It may just be an in-house WrestleMania where it's all the people from Saudi, maybe some of the surrounding countries.
Yeah.
But as far as internationally, like WrestleMania has always been, where you've got all 50 states and 18 countries represented in here and these 100,000 people, and it may not be that.
It may not. You know, it's. I find it interesting that they're going to Saudi, and again, trying real hard to not deep too far into this.
It's the same thing I stifled Walter with, because he almost went down that rabbit hole to Wonderland also. And
I will try very hard to keep it above water.
Appreciate it.
I find it interesting that they're going over there for WrestleMania when the administration will still be the same people. Especially after what happened this week. There's been so much turmoil the last, whatever it's been, September, 10 months. Really,
it will be an election year, though, won't it? Won't they be campaigning?
Midterm only, not for the big one. That'll be in 2028. That's a scary thing, Jay. It's only been 10 months since the election. Only been 8 months since the inauguration. It'll be 9 months next week. It's
Okay, wow.
it's only been the new regime for 9
It just feels like 4 years already.
Feels like longer. Exactly.
Well, yeah, I know he was elected in 2024.
Right.
That's why I was thinking, like, come 2027, wouldn't he be campaigning for re-election for 2028? Like, wouldn't it be beginning?
But by the way, I don't, God damn it, here we go. I'm gonna try.
Well, no, this is just a legitimate surface question, or he can't campaign at all because this is technically a second term, right?
Valid. Yes, he can't campaign at all to become, but by the time WrestleMania happens, the official push toward the 2028 campaign won't have gone into full swing yet.
Fair enough. Okay.
It'll still be one of those. Either way, he will still be, unless shit gets more sideways, Jesus Christ, he'll still be the president, the cabinet, everything will still be the thing it is now. There may be I think by 2026, I think is either congressional or senatorial. So there may be that election before WrestleMania.
To switch gears, I still find it crazy that we got a WrestleMania Saudi before a WrestleMania London. That's just.
We were talking about that before you came in. Yeah, it's like that. Cena made that hard push when they were in London, man. It's like you got John Cena on board with it, man. Shit sells itself. But what I was going to say to you on that point before we got in a different conversation, Wembley is such a bitch to book. AEW got that proven to them because of the Taylor Swift concert booked so far in advance or whatever it was. They had to move around for it. I think it was Taylor.
It was either Taylor or Coldplay. I heard
maybe Coldplay this time. Yeah, Taylor was a factor in a previous thing. No matter what she does, she's involved in some shit. She's always pissing up the juju. Love her, but it is what it is. Booking Wembley sooner would be, but booking Wembley in 2030, like you said, a milestone year, milestone year, not so hard.
Not only that, I'm just saying, with the relationship you just acquired, AAA, like you wouldn't think to do WrestleMania Mexico before you did Saudi Arabia.
So it's the only North American country where we haven't done a Mania yet, because we've had Mania in Canada.
Yep.
Plenty in the States. Nothing in Mexico.
Yeah.
Walter brings a valid point.
I think they could do Mania in Mexico, especially, and again, however you feel about people. Mania and Lord forgive me, Mania in Mexico won't happen as long as the current regime's in the White House. I'll tell you that shit right now. Not gonna happen.
Fair point.
WWE's too close to the White House, and the White House is not friendly with Mexico right now. They're just not.
Fair point.
But the other thing about going to Mexico,
great way to keep things PG, by the way. Continue with your point.
Now that WWE has acquired AAA and has made nice with Conan after all these years, Conan was always the Mexican Hulk Hogan. That's what they called him on WWTV all the time. You got the biggest star in the history of Mexico under your umbrella again. That's your way to Mexico for WrestleMania. That's the way you do it. And if it happens after January 2029, it's not so far-fetched. So you wait for a milestone WrestleMania. You wait for a milestone year for AAA or Conan or whoever. And you just book the shit out of it. Don't overbook it. Otherwise, you have Bruce Pritchard coming on you like Abyss. But book it right. No, that's valid. My only thing is, like I said, I don't think it's going to happen with the people currently in the United States.
I know.
So
the $1 million question then is can Ray go another 4 years?
Yeah. Can Ray's knees make it to 2029 and beyond? That's the $1 million question today, folks. Jesus. I love Ray. I got on his ass so much in the wake of Eddie's passing. And I feel like
you did.
For it all these years later.
You should.
I should. 100%.
Just like you feel like a dick for Rock when Rock was feuding with Cena.
Oh no, I don't give a shit about that now because Rock and his final boss craps, whatever. Anyway, but he'll be in Saudi if the money's right. I'll bet you $1 million on that one. Anyway,
I'm saying that's why Jeff and I were talking about like a nostalgia mania, Walter, because you think about it, it's been heavily rumored that the Saudi government and the prince have a big say in who is on the shows. Austin, Rock, Cena having his retirement this year. Does he have one more match? Do we get Rock Roman in Saudi?
Oh my god!
You
Hell,
know,
freaking
Shawn
Brock,
Michaels, Undertaker.
if Brock
Are
stays
these
healthy,
guys going to have to
this
get
shit.
trotted back out for another match?
Yep.
So that's why we were saying you do Nostalgia Mania on night 1 and appease the prince and the government.
Yeah.
And then night 2 is your storylines, your current stars, then and now.
Yeah.
And this moment will live forever.
And we're experiencing it together. Oh,
money's a hell of a key to unlock that retirement door. I tell you that.
Yes, yes. And of everybody he mentioned, I would say, I don't know if John would, and I know that's me being idealistic about my friend, whatever. But I don't know if Undertaker would. He seemed very resolved about it when he had Bubba Bully Ray on 6 Feet Under. Like, yeah, Bully asked him flat out, what obscene amount of money? And he kind of went, no, because I can't be that guy once the coat comes off anymore. I can't do that. Like, I can't be what they want me to be. So no amount of money is going to get the coat and the hat on me to then take it off. And after what happened, especially what happened at Crown Jewel, my God, was that he chased that dragon way too far around the world. Oof. And again, that was a nostalgia thing. That was him and Kane against DX.
He opened the door too much to the real him for him to ever try to revert back now.
That's a great. He didn't say that on the podcast, but that's a valid point too. Like, more than half of the mystique of Undertaker was the mystique. It was you didn't see him do the stuff he's doing now, the podcast, the interviews, and everything. It just would not be the Wrestle. He said on another episode of his podcast in the era that he had it with his friend, the moment with The Rock at 40 was that closure. Because he gonged, he freaking spawned in Joe Hendry style, delivered the choke slam, but he had the big evil, biker appearance at the same time. That was his, okay, now the character's done. Yeah, exactly, Charles. By the way, Charles,
up a good question.
Go ahead.
Say, Charles brings up a good point. Will Roman even be around for that Mania in 2027, since I expect him to be in Hollywood after next year's Mania? I think Roman will, because the key with Roman, yes, he's dabbling in Hollywood, but he hasn't had that breakout successful movie yet.
Yep.
Rock was lucky and had it with his first one, The Scorpion King.
Yeah.
There was so much buzz about him in The Mummy Returns that they created an entire spin-off movie just for that character.
Yep.
And Rock, from that movie, had a breakout role.
Yep.
Roman hasn't struck that gold yet. And it took Cena a little bit too. Yeah, he had the Marine. You could argue me that Marine was a breakout role, but that was WWE Films in-house.
Yep.
That wasn't 20th Century Fox, Universal Pictures,
No.
Dreamscape, or whatever, Disney. It wasn't a huge, it was an independent movie made in-house.
Yep.
It took Cena a while to get out of the WWE Films.
Yep.
And then find his breakout.
I'll even tell you, he's not had a definitive breakout role. He's just had so much consistently quality characters to play. You could say Peacemaker, but that's not, I mean, it is a very niche market to be a superhero, even, or a superhero character, DC character, Marvel character, even now.
Well, And to that point, how much is Peacemaker going to still be relevant with the new redoing of the DCU?
Well, I mean, they just had the second season premiere, so they're
Right.
definitely tying it in.
For now.
In fact, they said, God, I don't know if it was that one or something else that's going to be released in the same universe, takes place after the just released Superman. So they're still tying everything in.
See, the reason I ask is because he premiered in the second Suicide Squad movie.
Yes.
And they're recasting Harley Quinn. Margot Robbie isn't going to be Harley Quinn anymore in the DCU. Right. So that completely gets rid of those Suicide Squad movies from the DCU.
Well, okay, so it does, and again, this is way too much information I don't need to know. But it is what it is. Yes, but they're not completely getting rid of them. They're having, it sounds silly, they're having separate universes. Like the Batman with Robert Pattinson is not the same universe as Superman that just came out. Is not the same universe as Peacemaker and all the other shit that ties in with that. So
no, the Batman is the beginning, like when he first started being a detective.
Yeah. The Batman's very much year one era Batman.
Yeah,
in a different timeline than the. I feel like I'm talking about Star Trek. Jesus Christ! My God, thank God Star Wars never went that. Anyway, I'm sorry. We're all over the place.
To JJ's point, though, what he has to be careful with, to be honest, to piggyback off of this, is not to get involved in that kind of stuff until you already establish yourself as a big Hollywood star, because not every superhero movie sticks. Look at The Rock. Rock did a DC movie and it stunk up the joint, but because he was The Rock, it didn't hurt him. Let's say Roman did a Marvel or a DC movie now and it flopped, then Hollywood might stay away from him after that. But because Rock was already established when he flopped, which, I mean, people just give it a bad time. I mean, I like some corny movies. You got to go back and watch. Like,
I didn't think Black Adam was that bad, but I'm also not a comic book geek. And the comic book geeks are kind of like diehard wrestling fans. They examine shit under a microscope because, it wasn't like this, this, and this in the comics, and in issue number 432 with da-da-da-da-da.
Dude, just hearing the discourse and reading it about the actual multiverse when they had the 3 Spider-Mans and when Doctor Strange opened up the freaking the multiverse, I'm going, if I tried to actually figure this out, not just sit back and enjoy this movie, I'd be here the rest of my life. Like, what the like I can't do that shit. I'm a fan. I'm a Star Trek Trekker fan for life. I've gotten more into Star Wars since Disney owns the world now. But getting that far into it is crazy. With Roman, though, he did, I forget who, Stephanie's podcast, and said, much like John had said all those years, much like Rock said all those years, it's a cool, for lack of a better term, it's a cool side hustle, but it's not where I ultimately want to be.
Yeah.
I think John did feel that way when he said that. And then he realized he was being a hypocrite, which is why he said what he said about that. The Rock honestly felt like that when he said it. And then he realized he was being a hypocrite and said as much. Roman will carry that company line until he realizes that this is not what he wants to do anymore. And I don't know if that's soon, because we all said it the entirety of the 4 years, especially toward the end. What the fuck does he do when he's not the champion? And it's been, for lack of a better term, a sophomore slump. It's been kind of like, okay, he's not that guy anymore.
In fairness, he's not around consistently.
Well, right, and that's the difference.
It's like we need Roman to be there for a good year and a half, no break, to really see what we can do with him now post-Tribal Chief. And that's the thing, is Roman has his extended breaks as part of his deal. So you can't really ground him in too much storyline.
Right.
Because he's not going to be there every week.
Which I think is what will differ him from Rock, from Cena.
Because Rock and Cena were still there every week. They'd go make their movie, come back, and they'd be there every week until the next movie came. Cena was still there every week while making movies.
Yeah. And then The Rock, once he started being away longer and then longer the next time, and then just didn't come back for 7 years. That's what soured the public on him. I know.
Yeah.
I know.
What happened with the Rock?
He was there when he came back, and I heard about it all fucking week.
What happened with the Rock and Cena? They're like, hey, this is a hell of a lot less strenuous on the body than taking bumps. But Roman can be like, yeah, but I take bumps part-time anyway, so I can still do both. Yeah.
That's the other thing. I think as much as people criticize Brock Lesnar for his schedule and his contract, it's like, did we ever think we'd be talking about Lesnar Cena in this retirement? Again. Did I ever think I'd have to, re-enlist in therapy again over Brock Lesnar? No. But I have to for next weekend. Thank you very much, Hunter. Anyway, damn it. And I'm off next Saturday because of course I am. So I have no excuse not to watch the show.
God knows we're going to need people on the call because somebody's going to be away for that day.
Yeah, I know.
Watching the coolest guy from California, do his thing live and in person.
You know what? I told the Cleaver I'm available for the review. I told Aaron I'm available for predictions. I told Noah, put me on something. I will work all week next week. The only day I have not committed is Monday. And that's because I'm going to Knott's Berry Farm for the first time. I don't know how long. Godspeed to me. Yes.
Since the breakdown?
I've not gone to Knott.
Since the boys' breakdown?
There may have been one trip since then.
Okay.
Maybe.
Anyway.
No, you know what? That was just chicken dinner. I take that back. First time in the park since that outing. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been a minute, and I'm much less coaster friendly than I was even then. So I'm getting comped in. I'm like, thanks for wasting the ticket on me. Appreciate you. Love you. But what the fuck am I going to do? Like, I can't do the good stuff. So Knott's is much more better for that than Magic Mountain Universal, though. So we'll see. Anyway, we're like off on 40 tangents.
It's okay. Well, we kind of talked about the Saudi thing as much as we think we can at this point.
Yeah.
We've touched on the stuff that's come up in the chat room.
Yep.
We've been on the air an hour and 15 minutes with this.
Yep.
So go ahead. We'll get a couple of shills in here real quick and we'll dip out of here and let the upper echelon of podcasters, as it were.
That's right.
Take over and do the same shit we've just been doing, but we did it first, fuckers. Ha ha.
That's right. That's what they do, but that's okay. That's okay. Did I even leave the graphic in here this time?
I know one thing. I don't
know. I'm in the Simply Reliable Studios Indie Wrestling one.
Oh, okay. That's why. All right. Well, give me a second.
Tell you one thing. I don't think next year we're going to see too many people wearing Saudi 316 next year. Like, I don't know about these merches, dude.
I'm talking about one piece of merch that doesn't carry over in that particular vein.
While Jeff uploads his thing, Walter, why don't you go ahead and tell people where they can find you?
You can find me at the Rage of Wrestling YouTube. Please subscribe. We're less than 20 away. Like
18 by my last count.
Yeah, please subscribe and go check out the interview, please. Like that James and I did that with Douglas Marlowe, because that was just awesome. Like, and if you guys knew behind the scenes how freaking nervous I was, and then it turned out to be the best thing ever. Like, it was freaking hilarious. And for somebody, again, and if you're watching this, thank you so much for taking so much of your time. Like, little dude gave us, 30 plus minutes.
He gave us an hour and a half.
Hour and a half, I think it was. I meant to say 90 plus. Yeah.
And he was willing to keep going. I had to try to wrangle them to wind things up because I wanted to make sure I made my last bus home. Right? Otherwise, they probably could have gone for a full 2 with him. He was so giving of his time, so generous. Huge shout out to Douglas Marlowe. But 18 away. 20 of you are watching on Walter's X account right now. Those of you that are watching on the X, if you have not subscribed to Rage of Wrestling, convert those views to subscriptions to the Rage of Wrestling YouTube channel, because we don't always stream these videos onto X. We only did this today because of the importance of the breaking news. So go subscribe to continue seeing content like this.
Exactly.
Myself, you can find me on Instagram, the Renegade JJ Williams, on YouTube, Casa D18 Studios, on X at ROWJJ Williams, and Casa D18 Studio. Casa D18 Studio is the one where I participate in and host spaces. You can also find the Simply Reliable Studios at SR Studios 2024 on X. I don't have the graphic loaded in here, and I don't want to bother looking for it right now, but SR Studios 2024. Follow the Simply Reliable Studios on X.
Oh, I turned Bluetooth on, dumbass. Sorry, I'm talking to myself. Don't mind me.
No worries.
Again, I've been on, honestly, the same socials for as long as I can remember, but I do have better graphics, and in the tradition of having everybody have their favorite girl as part of their plugs, I went ahead and did the same thing with mine, and I'm just trying to keep myself in check and behave myself. So you can follow me, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I will be returning full time in January at Jeff Meacham. Same address on Facebook, and _ Jeff Meacham on Twix and on Instagram. That's where you can find good old JM. There you go.
There you go. And in just a few hours, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Pacific is showtime. So 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific will be beginning watch along coverage today. James and Ryan will be doing GCW Evil Deeds beginning at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. We will have not one, but two teams doing Worlds Collide. We'll have Noah and our Canadian friend Ash doing English commentary, and we'll have Walter, Emmanuel Dominguez and possibly Datilla doing Spanish commentary for the AAA WWE Worlds Collide event. So make sure you guys tune in for those across all the YouTube channels.
And there is no reason not to watch the video of that with our commentary behind it, because that shit's free on YouTube too, by God.
Right.
Exactly.
Picture in picture, folks.
So that is everything. Again, thank you very much to everybody that came in and joined us and commented along and viewed us and our thoughts on WrestleMania heading to Saudi Arabia. For Mr. Reliable Walter Cruz, for the West Coast Professor Jeff Meacham, for the rest of the Simply Reliable Studios crew who was unable to come in due to prior obligations and work and whatnot, I am the Renegade of Wrestling, JJ Williams. Thank y'all for coming on and joining us, and we will catch you guys next time.